Hey, welcome to session 3 of learning how to use Nearpod. In the last two tutorials, we have learned to set up our accounts, how to get in and upload your own slide presentation from Google Slides or PowerPoint, and then how to add those extra slides into those presentations that you already brought in. I hope you've really enjoyed the tool so far. It has some super great features. Today, we're going to take a look at pre-made resources that are available for you, and this is pretty phenomenal. Nearpod has over 7,500 lessons that they have already uploaded and are ready to go if you want to grab them, make them your own, however you want to use them. So that's going to be what we're going to talk about today. But before we do that, I want to share with you a couple of things. So in the Nearpod choice board, there are a couple of different videos that you might be interested in that I'm not going to cover in this series. One of them is how to add video into your slides, and that's this tool right here. So if you click on it, this is going to give you an option to add different video slides, and you can make these interactive slides. I do want to show you this real quick though, because it's part of the resources that we're doing today. So if you click on video, you'll notice that Nearpod has a video library, and you can scroll through and you can see they have added a ton of just different kind of videos that you can add. But I would encourage you to go take a look at that video piece at some point, how to make those interactive videos and how to add them into your lessons. Okay, as always, we're going to click on the little Nearpod icon, and this takes us right back to our home. And the other piece I wanted to share with you is that a lesson in Google Slides, if you are interested in building lessons out in your Google platform, you can put an add-on into your Google Slides that will bring some of the Nearpod features into Google for you. So you don't even have to come out to Nearpod. You don't even have to come out to Canvas. You can just use those right within your Google Slides in your Drive. And that is another one of those videos that's available in the choice board. So think about those two things at some point if you want to go ahead and take a peek. Okay, but for today, we're going to look at the resources that are available. So in Nearpod, on the left-hand column, you have your library, and that's where we have been working. This is kind of where you build your things, etc. But if you scroll on down, you're going to notice that there is a feature in here for a Nearpod library. If you click on that Nearpod library, this is going to bring up for you over 7,500 lessons that have been already pre-created by Nearpod. And these are just for the taking. So anything you might want, I'm sure they have it. The way they have lots of different ways that you can search for these lessons. So Nearpod library, you can come up here if you're looking for a topic. This is probably the easiest. So if we're looking for Egypt, well, ancient Egypt, let's click on that. Then it's going to pull up all of the, let me move myself down here. It's going to pull up all of the lessons that they have in their library. And let me say, a lot of these lessons, they actually have authors who they have hired to create these. They're all standards-based lessons, and they have companies who actually, probably some companies as you're looking through these that you're going to be familiar with and go, oh, I know about them. And they have also provided content with these lessons. So they're really robust, and the ones I've looked at they're pretty phenomenal. So this brings up a bunch of different lessons, and you'll notice when you're looking, here's one for grades 2 to 3, here's one for grades 6 to 8. So if you're teaching one of those grade levels, you probably don't want to see all of them. Here's another one for 9 to 12. So you can filter the results over in the left-hand column. Now that you've opened up the library, you can search for lessons or videos. And this is where the video piece is the one that I just shared with you if you want to find just videos. If you want to search by specific standards, you can click on here and you can find the standards, and it will search by those standards for you. Oops, let me go back to all. I wonder if there is an all in here. Okay, well, here, let's just head on down to Washington and see what we can find. And then you can search by content area as well. So if you're looking for something in math, and then you can search by grade level. So just all sorts of different things you can do. Let's look at high school and see. Now this is probably because I selected Washington because we're a Common Core. So let me go back. I'm just going to click back on Nearpod really quickly because I didn't see where it cleared that. That would be a good thing to share with Nearpod. Okay, so anyway, you can select by standard. So I want only lessons. I'm not interested in videos right now. And I'm looking for, let's say I want to find some technology and computer science videos or lessons. So I can go ahead and click on there. But I'm really going to be focused on, say, seventh grade. So I can click on seventh grade. And here are all of the different videos so far, or I'm sorry, lessons. I keep saying videos. Here are the lessons that fall into that category based on how I have restricted it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at, you'll notice here's common sense. So again, when I mentioned that there were a lot of lessons in here that were provided by some big name companies. And so here are a lot of them. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And when I do, it gives me a little preview. So a written preview. And if I read it and say, that sounds pretty good. That sounds like what I'm looking for. I can also click down here on this little blue preview lesson. And as soon as I do that, it's going to open up this lesson. And this is a pre-made lesson. And you will notice that anything that is created in Nearpod has a lot of those interactive Nearpod slides that we've already learned about in previous videos. So I'm going to go ahead and just click through. And as I click through, it's going to give me some information. And some of this is for the teacher on the teacher end. And so, but anyway, here's a brainstorming. Like I say, here's some of those questions. So you can scroll through. You'll notice at the top, this is a 20 slide presentation. And so if you like it and say, so far this is exactly what I'm looking for, you can click on this add to my library. Okay, and as soon as you do that, it shows, okay, it's successfully there. If I want, I can keep looking, or I can go back to show in my library. And once it comes back to my library, now this is my copy that I have made. And so I have now several options that have been given to me. One of those options is an edit option. I can go ahead and I can duplicate the lesson if I want, or I can edit the lesson. Let me make a little side note on here about duplicating the lesson. So this is a tip that I was reading about using Nearpod. If you're a secondary teacher and you plan on creating one lesson and you want to use it with 5 different periods, they do not suggest duplicating the lesson because it starts taking up a lot of space and it takes up a lot of space in your library. And so a lot of people think, oh, I'll just duplicate this and then use one for period 1, one for period 2. Because when the students are interacting in those slides, it has a list of all the students in those classes. So you're going to want to have them be separate, but this is not that time you would want to duplicate the lesson. Anyway, side note, I'll show you just here in a few minutes. So I'm going to edit the lesson. And now it takes us back to this page that we're familiar with, right? So here's all the different slides, and I can add things in here. If I want to, let's see, if I want to, oh, I probably don't want to do that one. Let's do this create and compare. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Now, when I open up a slide, and this is true of any slide in Nearpod, when I open up a slide, to edit it, I am given several different options. If I want to change the background of the slides, I can do that. If I want to change the layout, if I want to change the background, really cool feature right here. If you want to add audio into your slideshow, so if you have students who are going to, who you want to have this read to, add your audio recorder, and as soon as you click the red button, it is going to record for you. So let's create and compare. This lesson plan, or this lesson is going to be about yada yada. And then you can go ahead and save that. And now at the bottom of your slide, when your students see it, they're going to see this little play button, and they're going to be able to play what you just recorded. The red button, it is going to record for you. So that is, I just think that is worth gold right there. And then you can make other changes you want. So if you want to adapt and change different things, like I say, you can click on different things and it puts the little border around it. So now it's in edit mode. So That is if you want to edit within a particular slide, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this and discard my changes. And now I'm back here. So then I can come in and I can add more slides if I want to. If there's something in here I don't like, I can click on this slide and come up here and delete it, and I can delete that. So several different options for you to be able to take a pre-made slideshow and kind of make it your own. All right, so now let's go ahead and click on the Nearpod button, and this will take us back home. And notice now that here is that lesson that I found out there through the Nearpod library. It is now part of my library, so I can come back and I can use it at any time. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and let me save changes, and I want to show you something very quickly. So remember how I said if you create a slideshow and you have it for 5 different periods, let's click on this live presentation. This is how you're going to give this to students. When you do this, it is going to generate a code for you. And when it generates that code, you can give that, you can add this to your class. You know what, actually? Yeah, you can give this to your class to use, and then you can generate new codes each time. But I forgot. So you can do that, and I'm going to actually backtrack that just a little bit. Erase, rewind. When we use Canvas, it does things differently in Canvas. So I apologize for this. So ignore what I just said about that. Okay, so what I would encourage you to do right now is to go ahead, and it wants me to present it now because I just got through clicking on this. All right, I'm going to end this session because I put it in live presentation mode. Okay, so again, today we went through, we're here home, and we're going to go down to our Nearpod library. And in our Nearpod library, you're going to search for different content that pertains to whatever subject it is you teach or grade. Look through many of these. A couple of things about it is it kind of gives you some ideas for how to lay out content. When you start to see the way that Nearpod publishers have done that, and it also might give you some slides that you can just bring in and make your own and start using with students right away. So there's a lot of, if you're looking for elementary reading or elementary math, there's an awful lot of those. Social studies, science, there's just some really, really great lessons available. So take a look at these. This is what you're going to do today. I want to give you as much time as I can to go ahead and take a look and scroll through these. The other piece that I want to share with you is not only do you have access to the Nearpod library, but there's also a vocabulary video pack. So when you go ahead and take a look at this, the vocabulary, if you looked at that from the first video, vocabulary takes vocabulary or words that are associated with a content that you're teaching, and it makes it really fun for students to learn. So here, let me preview one for you. This, I think, would be a great hook to have at the beginning of a lesson, or you want to kind of get them familiar with some of the concepts or whatever. So you can kind of scroll through and see what some of these are in this series, but it's a really great series, and I think you might really enjoy the content that vocabulary has to offer as well. So take a look at the vocabulary too. So today's assignment is on your Google document that we've been keeping track of. You can go ahead and make this one video 3, and I would like for you to spend however much, I'm not sure how long I've been talking here, sorry. Spend as much of the rest of your hour for your clock hour looking through the different options in the Nearpod library, checking them out, seeing how they work, look at the different content and that kind of thing. Add a couple of these into your library, and then once you have a couple of them added into your library that you think might be helpful for you, then take a screenshot of your library, and in our working Google document under video number 3, add that screenshot that has a couple of these new lessons that you have added to your library, and that will be your assignment for today. So have a lot of fun looking, and I hope you find some great content that you can find really user-friendly and usable right away. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.